Welcome to part 3 of Resolve, the course where I am showing you a step by step process for resolving issues with dissatisfied clients in a way that is professional, in a way that is excellent, and in a way that your clients will really appreciate your willingness to resolve any issues that they're having with the work that you have produced, the service that you have provided, or the agreement that you have entered into. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Asana or any other project manager to manage the documentation, the workflow, as well as the resolution to all of those issues. Now, this template follows the process that I taught in part 1 of the course, as well as the issue resolution form that I taught in part 2 of the course. So if you haven't seen those two classes, if you haven't gone through those two parts of this course, then some of this may not make any sense to you. So you'll want to go back and go through that. Okay. Now, some housekeeping. This process, this workflow is built in Asana. So that is the project management tool that we use. Okay. You will get this template as a CSV file. And so if you use Asana, then your project board will look very similar to what mine looks like right now. If you use ClickUp or Monday.com or Teamwork or Trello or any other project management tool that allows you to upload CSV files in this way, then I can't guarantee that your board is going to look exactly like mine because I don't know what that one-to-one comparison is. What I can tell you is that you will have all of the steps in the process, all of the tasks that need to be completed. And so if you're using a tool other than Asana, you'll simply just have to format it in the way that your tool works. But all of the steps will be there, okay? Also, when you upload the CSV file, these placeholder card photos will not be automatically available. They won't be here. So this will actually be blank. It'll look something like this. So it'll look like, and then you'll have a task here that says resolved. Okay. So when you download the template or when you upload the CSV file, all of your placement cards are going to look like this right here. Okay. The photos are not mandatory, but I like them. And so we choose to keep photos so that you don't have to go in. Not sure. Wow. My bad. So that you don't have to go in and create all of these photos on your own. You will also receive a zip file that has all of these photos so that you can use them and then your board can look just like mine. Or you can have your team create your own photos, however it is that you want to do that. Just note that when you originally upload the CSV file, these photos won't be there. You'll have to manually add them to the placement cards. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start here with the overview. In Asana, if you scroll down to key resources in this template, you'll see here that we have what we call a project brief. Now, in your company, you might call it something else. You might call it issue resolution task manager, whatever you want to call it, you can change it. Of course, as you can see, you can edit it right here, change this. But what this does is it gives some background and some foundation to why this process is important to your company. Why is it important that you take the time to resolve or at least attempt to develop resolutions to any of the issues that your clients may be having with the work that you've produced or deliverables that you have given them. I think that this is an amazing tool because it cuts down some of the one-on-one training time that you would have to spend or that someone else would have to spend in your company training your team on how to utilize this process. So we've got some placeholder text here in some of the areas to give you an idea of what you may want to add. You can use some of it, you can use all of it, you can use none of it. It is here available to you as a resource so that your team understands exactly why this managing the work of issue resolution is important. So if we go back to the board, what you're going to see is that this is broken up into phases. So it works from left to right. So you will be taking each issue card, and I'll show you how to create the issue card. You'll be taking each issue card from the far left all the way over to the right-hand side. And I did my best to make this as foolproof as possible. So if you follow the tasks and just go from left to right, you will be able to take your client all the way from initially having the issue to having that issue resolved and your team being able to document that work. The other cool thing about having this board is that it allows you to pop in at any time and see where the work is at any stage. So this cuts down on meetings. This cuts down on sending out emails and Slack messages. Hey, what's going on with client so-and-so's, the 3 issues that client so-and-so had on the last call. You don't have to do any of that. You can just pop into the board and you can see, okay, I've got 5 issues. If she had 10 issues, 3 of her issues are in the reviewing the contract stage. We've got 4 issues where the follow-up has already been scheduled. We've got 2 issues that she's already approved. And of those 2 issues, we're currently actively working on resolving one of them. And then, this is how many of those issues we have resolved. So you can pop in here and review all of that without having to send out messages, without having to call meetings. It saves you so much time on the back end. Okay. Now the start here card, when you open this up, you've got this right here. Now for us, I'm putting, this is a placeholder photo, do not remove. Why? Because I like my placeholder photos. Okay. It tells you how to begin utilizing the template, utilizing the issue cards, which I'll show you. It gives you a space to include a link to the issue resolution form, which is what we covered in part 2 of the course. And then it's got a space here for you to create your own step-by-step video. So the idea of this template is that it's a starting point. It's why I'm not going to go over step-by-step exactly how to utilize or exactly how to do everything in the board, because the idea is your company works different from our company, right? So you're going to get into this template or have someone in your team get into this template and make the adjustments that fit your company. And then if you choose to record a step-by-step video, you have the ability to do that. Okay. Now, let me take a pause here really quickly because I'm about to show you something that you may or may not have access to depending on your account. I have a paid version. So our company has a paid version of Asana, and we have the middle tier, which I believe is the advanced tier. So there are going to be some things that we added to the template that you may not have access to if you were utilizing the free version. So just some things to keep in mind. Now, if you're using the free version or if you're using the beginner version, and you don't have access to all of the automations and all of the additional things, it's not a problem. You'll still have all of the steps that you need to complete in the process. You just won't have access to some of the fancy stuff that we have access to. But the bottom line here is, once you make your adjustments, you can click here to record a video, and you can actually record your step-by-step tutorial video right here in Asana for your team to be able to watch. And again, this saves you so much time, energy, money, and frustration because they can come into this board, they can learn this process themselves, and they may have a few questions here or there, but the process is pretty much laid out for them. So that saves you so much time, okay? All right, now let's say that you've got a client and you did your issue discovery meeting or whatever, and this client has 5 issues. There are 5 items that this client is unhappy with, okay? What you can do is you come down here to add a task, and we've already templatized the steps for completing the issue resolution form, reviewing, submitting for approval, the follow-up. We've already templatized all of that for you. So if you click here where it says template, if the client has 5 issues, just add 5 of them. That's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. So as you'll see, it's uploading all of the tasks. So that takes a little bit of time, but we'll go ahead and we'll go into this one. So you'll see that there are basically 11 subtasks that need to be completed to take this from documenting the issue, researching where the root of the problem is, creating the resolution plan, following up with your client, doing the work to resolve the issue, and then marking the issue as resolved. So if you open up this template, you'll be able to see we have instructions for what type of information needs to be placed in this card. And if you scroll down here, you will see every single step that is required. So the reality is, if you follow this from top to bottom and don't skip anything, it will take you through the entire process that we taught in parts 1 and 2 of this course for resolving the issue, okay? Now, in Asana specifically, I don't know what this will look like if you're using a different project management tool, but if there are subtasks or instructions within a task here, you'll see this little bubble here on the side. So you'll click that, and it may have some instructions here, and then it may have some additional tasks that you need to complete, okay? And you can go through that. You and your team can go through that and see what that looks like. I've got some milestones in here. These are what we consider to be milestones. Your company may be completely different. So you can change these milestones. You cannot have any milestones. It's totally up to you, okay? And then you can submit the form for approval. Now, again, we have a paid version of Asana. So if you remember from parts 1 and 2 of the course, we went over how to create an issue resolution plan for your client, okay? Well, then as they're adding those things to the form, they can submit it for approval. And if we go back here, or actually it's right in here, it tells you how to submit the form for approval. You're going to complete all the information on the form, save the form, and then you're going to move the task to RP submitted for approval, or in this case, it's IRR form submitted for approval. So it literally tells them how to submit this for approval, okay? If let's say it's you and a small team, so you would be the one to approve the issue resolution plan. You could review the form and you could approve it. You could request changes. So you could say, actually, you know what? I actually want to change this, and this. Or you could reject it and say, you know what? That is absolutely not correct. Go back and go back and research that again, or go back and look at those items again. Okay. So then what ends up happening is whoever this issue is assigned to will automatically get a message that says, hey, this issue resolution plan was approved by the manager or approved by leadership. We want changes, or it was rejected. So they'll automatically get those messages. Okay. Right. And so again, top to bottom. So the idea is top to bottom, left to right. And within this top to bottom, it spells out for them when to move the card to what stage. So this is literally foolproof. So inside here, if they follow every single task in here, they will be able to get from documenting the issue, researching, following up, getting client approval, working on the issue, and then resolving the issue. Okay. Now, I want to show you some of the automations that we added. Now, when you download the CSV file, You will not get these automations. So you will have to go in and create automations that work specifically for your team. But I just want to show you some of the automations that we added to this form to make them easier for us. Because remember, the whole purpose of this template is so that you can manage the team's work, or at least see what's going on with the team's work without it having to take up all of your time. Right? You don't want to be on the phone all day. You don't want to be having meetings all day. You don't want to be sending Slack messages all day asking for progress reports, because all of that is available here in the board. You can just come into the board and you can see it. Okay. Now, so when the issue resolution form is submitted for approval, in order to do that, it tells them complete all of those other tasks, and then you'll move the task card here. This is how they submit it for approval. Well, what happens is when this is submitted for approval, what will happen is the task will be automatically, and I just use myself as an example, but it would be somebody on your team. It would automatically be assigned to me. And then I would get a direct message that says, hey, there's an issue resolution form with this particular issue that has been submitted for you to review. Okay, so again, nobody's calling me, nobody's emailing me, nobody's sending me Voxer messages. I'm automatically getting a message from Slack that says, hey, there's an issue resolution request form with this issue that's been submitted for you to review. Okay, so that's one automation. I'll show you another one. Let's say that we go through the process, we present the resolution for, you see this right here, it's saying that this automation is running. We present the resolution for this issue and the client does not approve that resolution. What will happen, and let's see if it did it. As you can see, you see how it originally there was no assignee and now it's automatically assigned it to me, right? So what happens in this case is that I will get a Slack message. So it will automatically assign it to me. And then I will get a Slack message that says, hey, the client did not approve this resolution plan. They don't like it. They don't like that idea as a resolution. You need to review it, either come up with a new resolution, or if a new resolution cannot be created, you need to document that and reach out to the client. So again, nobody's manually texting me, nobody's manually emailing me, nobody's manually calling me. This is automatically happening within the tool, okay? Let's say the client did approve, okay? So the client does approve. So we've got another automation that's running over here in the corner. So the client approves, it will automatically assign it to me. And then I get a message that says the client has approved it, start work on this immediately. Okay. And then it tells me once you begin work, move the card over to the IRR working phase of this task board. Why do we want people to do that? Well, because if the client reaches out to me and asks me for a status, right, I can tell them which resolutions are in progress. And I don't have to reach out and ask, is this one in progress? Are we waiting for a follow-up on this one? I don't have to ask those questions because I can simply come into the board and see, and see that the issue is currently being worked out. And then when the issue is resolved, we move it over here, issue is resolved. So if I want to see, okay, how many issues have we resolved for this client? I just go down this list and it'll show me every single issue that we resolved for this client. So those are some of the automations that we put in place to make things easy. And so that's something that your team can do as well, is setting up those workflows, setting up those automations, because again, this is supposed to make it easy for you to do. Okay. It's not necessarily the simplest to set up all the time, but once you do the work, it does make it easy. So if you are in the Elite Business Playground Group Coaching membership, then the Resolve course is a part of your membership, and you will get access to this template, which is the CSV file, as well as the zip file with all of these placeholder photos. Okay. If you purchase Resolve as a standalone course, then this template, the CSV file, as well as the zip folder with all of the photos, will also be in your portal. If you're not in our membership or if you have not purchased the course, there will be a link underneath this video for you to either join us in the membership or to purchase the issue resolution course as a standalone course so that you can get access to not only just this template and what you're seeing here in this video, but all of the other videos that we've created, as well as all of the other templates that are a part of that. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.